Vaughn Hebron for the Denver playoff. Jackie sends it into the wind. Hebron at the 7. Finds a little crease and dives out to the 29-yard line. Musgrave's 6th NFL year. He was drafted by Dallas and released, picked up by the 49ers. His first start. Here's his offensive line. Jamie Brown, that's a key. He plays for the All-Pro Gary Zimmerman out with shoulder surgery. Schlereth, Nalen, Habib, Thompson, a veteran line, underrated. Musgrave has the league's best rusher in Terrell Davis. The blockers Aaron Craver, Miller, and McCaffrey outside. Shannon Sharp, 75 catches at tight end, 10 of those for touchdowns. Elway, a spectator. He's the third or emergency quarterback today. They start with Davis. Gets outside, no gain. Brian Williams and Doug Evans from that right side to make the tackle. The defense for the green and gold stacks up this way. Reggie White, Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, 10 in a row. Santana Dotson, Gilbert Brown, and Sean Jones, the front four, with Simmons, Kuntz, and Williams. Kuntz, the leading tackler. Newsome and Evans at the corners. Leroy Butler having a career season. He has 5 interceptions, 5.5 sacks, and veteran Eugene Robinson is the other safety. Here comes Newsome on a corner blitz, and they run the other way with Davis out to the 35, where it'll be 3rd down and 4. What do you expect to see, Paul?
First of all, Denver, you don't change anything. You have the same game plan coming in. You just change quarterbacks. This system's the same.
Yeah, don't change it, Paul. But Green Bay's defense today, the one thing they'd like to do is get to Bill Musgrave, hit him, get him out of rhythm, because there has to be some self-doubt in his mind. And also, Green Bay got to stop the inside runs. Lately, everybody has been hurting them with the run inside.
3rd down and a long 3. First time Musgrave without a back in the shotgun, a quarterback draw, and Musgrave has a 1st down at the 42-yard line.
Don't you love it? I mean, you would think John Elway would do this. The very first play, it's a pass play. They put it with nobody in the backfield, and look what Musgrave does.
Well, it's a good call by Mike Shanahan. Takes the nerves out of the game for Bill Musgrave. 5 wide receivers were out there in the field. They had it spread. It gives a good hope for Bill Musgrave to go in there and get rid of some of those jitters and, you know, take that first lick of the day. Even though it's not a hard one, it has to make him feel good.
Eugene Robinson tripped him up at the 42, a 1st down. Number 1 rushing team in the NFL, the Denver Broncos. This is Aaron Craver, and they continue to work on the left side. Fumble the ball, and the Green Bay Packers say they have it. They do. Sean Jones, number 96, the veteran from Northeastern, comes up with it.
You know, you're successful in your first series of downs, and then something like this happens. You just say Craver comes to the outside. Sean Jones not only strips the ball, but also he gets the fumble. That's great defensive end play.
Both the forced fumble and the recovery by the veteran Jones, and Brett Favre takes the field with a 1st down at the Denver 41-yard line. Only William Henderson behind him. They come out with 2 wides and 2 tight ends, and Favre, plenty of time, now has to buy some time and throws it up for grabs. And Andre Rison, the ball well out of bounds. Alfred Williams, who leads the league in sacks, put the pressure and added a little turf to the helmet of Favre. Here is the Green Bay offense. Michaels has had some problems at left tackle. Rookie from Southern California. He's light. Taylor, Winters, Timmerman, Dotson. It's a relatively young starting front. Bennett, leading rusher. Henderson, the blocker. Freeman and the veteran Rison, acquired this year on the outside, and Mark Shimura, good news for Green Bay, returns at tight end. Keith Jackson, of course, also in that tight end stable for Green Bay. Here's the man Favre again. MVP numbers this season, as he did last year when he won that award. Play action fake down the middle, incomplete, intended for Shimura, who slipped as he tried to reach back. The Denver Bronco defense, and that's the reason why they are so much improved to 12-1. Number 1 against the run, as Paul pointed out. Hasselback for Dan Williams, who has the flu, will not play today. Lodish, Michael Dean Perry, Alfred Williams with the sackmaster. Mobley, the rookie from Kutztown, has played well. Aldridge, Romanowski, a Pro Bowl season. Crockett and Washington at the corners, and Braxton, he's having a career year at safety with 7 interceptions. And the hitter, the guy they call Lumber, Steve Atwater. 3rd and 10. And a draw to Dorsey. Levens breaks the tackle, has the first down at the 28. Phil, the Packers are so pass-oriented that on 3rd and long, time and time again, they fool the defense with a run.
Well, you're right, Dick. When they run on 3rd and long, nobody's expecting it. It's a complete surprise, and this time it is again. Denver rushing the passer, in coverage, everybody back. Dorsey Levens did this last week against the Chicago Bears. In these situations, there's nobody there to tackle him. He makes something happen.
Jumpy Geathers was the only guy that had a shot at him. He got one arm on him, and that wasn't enough.
13-yard pickup on 3rd and 10. Levens, who started at Notre Dame, played 2 years, and then transferred to Georgia Tech. Big back at 235. This time it's Edgar Bennett, and Bennett corralled. Bennett with 725 yards to lead the Packers in rushing this season. Williams and Perry made the hit.
You know, one of the things about the Denver Broncos we've heard all year long is that if there is a weakness on their defense, it's the corners, Phil. But we haven't seen anybody beat the corners yet this year.
Nobody can take advantage of those corners if there is a weakness there, Paul, because the pass rush is good by the Denver Broncos. In Green Bay, they've got to protect Brett Favre. They struggle with it every week. I think it's maybe the weak link on this football team, and keep him in the pocket, Brett Favre, and you have a chance.
2nd and 11 from the 29. And a whistle, no play, and Edgar Bennett would have gone for a score. Boy, did he shoot through a big hole, and no white jerseys there, but a false start against Green Bay.
Dick, there was a whistle, but you're right. This was going to be a touchdown. They caught Denver in a blitz. Nobody there when you get through, when you crack the line of scrimmage.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
When you crack the line of scrimmage against the blitz, that's what can happen. There's nobody in the secondary to make the tackle.
You know what's really bad about this? You got Antonio Freeman, the receiver, on the top of the screen that moves. You see him move on the top. He's not even involved in a play. They're not even going near him. He doesn't even have to block anybody, but yet he moves. If he had just stayed right where he was, it would have been a touchdown.
Instead of 6-0 Green Bay, it'll be 2nd down and 16 from the 34. Throws, intercepted by Steve Atwater. And Atwater is to the 25-yard line. A flag is down.
I think they might call holding on Steve Atwater that time on Andre Rison.
And that not only will be cost Denver the turnover, but give Green Bay a 1st down.
I think Favre's arm was hit, or he was rattled before he threw the ball, because that was really a bad pass.
Gary Lane.
Holding, defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So Atwater guilty of the hold, and cost his team his own play, the interception. Takes it back to the 29.
Steve Atwater into coverage inside against Andre Rison. Watch him. Andre's going inside. He gets that hand on him. Hooked him with the left hand, pulled him somewhat. The back judge sees it, Paul. They're going to call that every time when you stick that hand out and stop a receiver.
Atwater at safety all over the place. He's safety linebacker. He'll blitz. Levens through a hole. Pushed to the outside by Romanowski. Can't tackle him. And Levens to the 21. A gain of 8.
Phil, you were telling me about Friday when you saw the Green Bay Packers going through their motions of practice, how quick they hit a hole and how fast they practice. When they go in motion, they're fast. Look at Levens when he hits the hole. Watch how fast he gets there. Romanowski, the blocking is sensational, but how fast he gets into the hole.
Yeah, Paul, that was the one thing that struck me when I watched this Green Bay team. Bill Romanowski outside. He sees the run, has a chance to make the play, but Dorsey Levens gives him a straight arm and gets away.
And a mix-up as Michael Dean Perry shoots through.
Dick,
on second and 2.
I don't think I want to make a living trying to run against this team. We've seen a couple of plays that worked. All right, they caught him in a blitz, and they caught him, they got to the outside where one man missed a block or missed a tackle. But I don't want to make a living running it.
Misdirection, traps insides. When you catch them off guard, that's when it works. That's when you can run against this Denver defense.
That's a special teamer, Roderick Mullen, a defensive corner. Third down 4. One in the backfield is Favre. Throws underneath, complete. First down inside the 15 to Mark Chmura. Chewy, they call him here in Green Bay. Been out with a bad arch.
Well, you talk about doing something quick. This is what this offense is all about. Brett Favre drops back. Watch Mark Chmura. Number 89 just goes down a couple yards, and as soon as he turns, Brett Favre anticipates, throws it in there. Get it done quick. That pass took less than 2 seconds for Brett Favre to make his mind up and where to throw it.
10-yard play, first down at the 13. Favre, incomplete. Trying to hit Keith Jackson, the veteran tight end. Covering was John Mobley.
You know what's interesting about both quarterbacks, and I will go back to Elway for a second, but Elway and Favre both, when they need a play, they go to their tight end. You did that with the Giants.
Because they're smart, because their tight ends are really good. So you go to those good players. That's what you do. The coach says, throw it to our best players if you can. Keith Jackson, and of course on the other side, Shannon Sharp, they're some of the best tight ends in the National Football League.
Shannon Sharp waiting for the offense to return. His brother, of course, Sterling, wearing the same number, 84, was huge star. Fumble, so snap does Favre and able to fall on it. Which will bring up third down in about 10.
A couple of things I've noticed already in this game today. Brett Favre pulls out just a hair too early. You can see the ball hit his fingertips. That is the quarterback's fault. But the ball looks like it could be a little hard to handle because of the cold weather, the wind. It's quite breezy on the field, and the field looks very slick. I see all kinds of players slipping.
I was down on this field running into the wall earlier today, and I'm going to tell you what, the grass here, Dick, is about 1.5 inches high.
You were running? Wait, so you walked into the wall.
Okay, kind of walk.
Third and 11, and it's a screen to Dorsey Levens, and what a play by Alfred Williams, the defensive end, to catch him by the heels and deny a possible first down. That'll bring on the field goal team.
Maybe a possible touchdown. The Green Bay Packers, they love the screen. That's something the West Coast offense or the Bill Walsh offense that nobody does, but Green Bay loves it. Dorsey Levens, they got people out in front to block it. It could have been a touchdown, and Alfred Williams.
Man, did he read that thing, Phil? As soon as Levens came out, he was going inside Alfred Williams, which is hard to believe that he was going inside on the stunt, saw Levens and came back out with him and made the play.
Jackie, a 33-yard attempt. And the Packers take advantage. Capitalizing on the fumble recovery with the field goal 3-0 as we remind you, experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League. For all the tackles and the touchdowns and a live game day scoreboard, click on NFL.com. Jackie's kick comes down to Byron Chamberlain. And Chamberlain, the tight end, is across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Timeout, first quarter here in Green Bay. 6 yards and earned the 3-0 lead after the fumble forced and recovered by Sean Jones. Hey, kind of like that cheese look on you, Paul McGuire, in our pregame show.
Kind of improved your looks a little, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't realize that thing was a phony. I tried to eat it.
Denver, second possession from the 31. Musgrave's first throw is to McCaffrey, complete, gain of 5, and that brings us to our first update of the day. We go to New York and Greg Gumbel. Musgrave with that completion. He had thrown just completed 20 of 30 NFL attempts in his 5+ this season years in the NFL. Second down and 4. Musgrave batted back into his face as leaping high was Santana Dotson.
I mean, it's really difficult to throw over a defensive lineman who's back off the line of scrimmage about 2 or 3 yards. Now, Dotson is being blocked back off the line of scrimmage, but he sees the ball, gets up, and he hits it with the palms of his hands.
When you're a defensive lineman, you cannot make penetration, get back there, stop, watch the quarterback, and try to do that. Good job by Santana Dotson.
Dotson coming to Green Bay after 4 years in Tampa Bay. Dad played in the league, Alphonse, with the Raiders and the Chiefs. defensive tackle. Musgrave fools the entire Green Bay team, and wide open is Shannon Sharp. 50-46 of Green Bay and a first down. The entire Green Bay team had gone to the far sidelines.
First down.
17-yard play.
From this end zone, you take a look at the left side of the screen, the whole Packer defense goes to their right.
Yes.
And Musgrave could have run, except he did the smart thing. Let's give it to Sharp and let him run and take a pounding.
Complete that pass, but Reggie White, 3rd and 5. Denver will run it. He thinks it's run. He's going down. Hey, I'm protecting the backside against the run. No, I'm not.
Who's that guy with the ball?
First time Denver and Green Bay territory. Trailing 3-0. 6.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Musgrave underneath to Rod Smith. And Smith, who played at Missouri Southern with the Lions and is a budding threat for the Denver Broncos, has his first catch today.
Phil, are you surprised that all the passes that Musgrave has thrown so far have been like 8 yards or less?
Well, it's smart, Paul. First, his first start, so you know he's got to be nervous. The Denver offense likes to throw it short, but there's a little breeze on the field. They're going into it. That has to change your play calling, so it's smart to throw the ball short.
Their first possession, they had 4 rushes. This possession, they've had 4 straight passes. 2nd and 4. Terrell Davis, and nothing there. George Coons, the middle backer, plugging the hole. There's Coons, 53 from East Carolina. Davis with only 7 yards rushing in 3 tries, leading the league. Handful of yards ahead of Jerome Bettis, Waters Sanders, and Eddie George. What find he was out of the University of Georgia, the 21st running back selected in the draft a year ago.
I guarantee you those numbers will change drastically. Drastically.
3rd and 4. No one in the backfield with Musgrave. Complete. Anthony Miller. First down at the Green Bay 28.
You know something, Sims? Mr. Sims.
Tell me.
I have not seen this guy throw a bad pass yet. He had one knocked down at the line of scrimmage, but Musgrave has not thrown a bad pass.
Well, I think you can see what he's all about. That play just illustrated he likes to catch the ball. He's smart. We talked about it. He knows the offense real well. Watch him. He's going to catch it. He sees the defense. He throws the ball on rhythm. It's a nice ball. It's easy for the receivers to catch.
Mike Holmgren of Green Bay scouted him when he was at Oregon. He said, I've always liked Musgrave. I won't be surprised if he plays well. There goes Davis. And his first sizable chunk of yardage down to the 22-yard line, a gain of 6.
Well, this is one thing that this is probably the #1 play that the Denver offense runs. Watch the left guard, Schlereth pull inside. It's a trap inside. That is the play where they get most of their running yards from.
There's Terrell Davis, first in the league and rushing first in total yards, with his catches thrown in first and making first downs, and his 13 touchdowns ranked 5th. 2nd and 4. No. There's Jamie Brown, second-year tackle. He said if this is best for the playoffs, he would have started today.
Oh, yeah.
Rest him a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and Shanahan said that, Mike Shanahan, the coach, told us that last night, too, that, hey, Gary Zimmerman said, hey, look, Coach, I'm ready.
You know, the thing about Zimmerman, though, Dick, he's played the entire year in pain.
2nd down and 9. Trailing 3-0. Musgrave underneath, complete. Anthony Miller, 24-yard line, short yardage, 4 maybe. As Musgrave is now 5 for 6 with the only pass hitting the ground, the one that Dotson rejected.
Well, I tell you, again, the Denver offense, look up top, Anthony there, watch him come inside. It's a zone coverage. He said, let me stop. There's a nice open hole here. There's no defenders. Musgrave reads it, throw it in there.
This is an offense that Denver is running. It's no different than Elway, except Elway get downfield a bit. This is called don't do anything stupid offense.
And use up as much time as you can. Down to 3 minutes left in the first quarter. 3rd and 4. Fake toss, and the throw incomplete. First bad throw by Musgrave.
Well, no, it was a pretty smart throw, Dick. He threw it when only his guy could catch it. And it was the same play they ran earlier on 3rd down. But this time, which I can't never believe, on 3rd down, cover, Shannon Sharp. That time, Green Bay defense did it.
Well, the other thing, too, is that don't run this play against against Reggie White twice.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you know, here's an old crafty veteran. You may run it once against him, but don't do it again.
Jason Elam comes on. It's a 40-yard try with the wind at his back, gusting up to 22 miles an hour. Elam knocks it through, and we have a tie game here in Green Bay. Packers 3, Broncos 3, 2:49 left in the first quarter. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Hey, it's got to be killing him not to play. If he's over there giving some advice, trying to help his teammates out.
You bet. Desmond Howard and Travis Jervey on the other end of Elam's kickoff. Found Desmond Howard, the former Heisman winner at Michigan. He's had a couple of punt returns for touchdowns, and he squeaks out a good return here to the 30-yard line. 27 on the return. 2:38 left, opening quarter.
Staples presents the Coach of the Week and congratulates Woodview Elementary for winning $5,000 in school supplies. Last week, Mike White, Mike Holmgren, and Mike Shanahan all won at home. Which Mike brought down the house? Stay tuned.
What do you see?
Just a bunch of stuff from Staples.
A brother label maker. I could use that. All right, a brother fax. Oh, a brother typewriter. A water gun.
Busted.
Get Brother products at the guaranteed low price and 7,000 other great gift ideas. Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
Characteristic of the black and blue division, the Packers and the Bears slugged it out in Week 14. However, Green Bay packed the biggest punch with a spectacular punt return, making Mike Holmgren the undisputed leader of the pack.
Beck's, the original import. Taste German beer at its finest. Beck's, America's favorite German beer.
Presenting the full-time four-wheel drive Lexus LX 450. It's everything a Lexus is, and everything a Lexus isn't.
Back at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where the Packers have won 24 of their last 25. They've won 14 in a row, and part of the reason, the enthusiasm of these fans, the attire belying the chill factor of about -5.
That guy's minus about 3 brandies.
Yeah, they sell beer here.
Barr from his own 31 picks out Keith Jackson, who takes a big hit from Braxton and Aldridge. Brett Favre, although he grew up in Mississippi, Kill, Mississippi, he has been a cold weather quarterback. 15-0 in temperatures under 35 at Lambeau. Look at that quarterback rating.
And look at that completion percentage in cold weather, the yards. But here's the most impressive, 32 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions.
That is more than remarkable. Favre 3 for 6 today, 15 yards, and looks at second down 3. Lots of time. He comes this one incomplete. Lionel Washington getting a hand on it, the veteran from Tulane at the right corner.
Boy, didn't they just give him the opening to throw down to Antonio Freeman. I mean, Brett Favre thought he has. I have an opening. And Lionel Washington just closes on the ball. What a great play, because he knew he had help from Atwater. But look at that move. That is beautiful. There's Atwater.
And then Mike Lotish. We talk about the Green Bay protection. Brett Favre stands in the pocket, wants to go down the field. Mike Lotish comes around free.
Almost too late.
Yes, that was borderline.
Third down and 4. It's a 3-all tie, less than 2 remaining in the first quarter. Favre changing plays.
Jackson's moving. They got Keith
incomplete to Don Beebe.
There was so much confusion, and Keith Jackson got up to move outside, and then he comes back inside, and he never does get set.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 88 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
I would hope so. Watch Keith Jackson at the top of the screen, folks. Watch this here. You think he's confused? Should I go out here? No. Oh, I got to get back. No, I don't have time. He has to set for a full second.
Yeah, we still kind of easing down into that three-point stance. Veteran Keith Jackson, he said, boy, Holmgren, he is a master of detail. He said, I'm the ad-lib star. He won't let me ad-lib.
He says, I am the best ad-libber in football, and Mike Holmgren will not let him do that. Stay with the pattern and be precise.
Well, Alfred Williams this time, he did on the snap count. Favre almost intercepted by Ray Crockett.
Well, that was a good job by Brett Favre. You could hear it in his voice. He gave it that one extra hut. And Alfred Williams, too anxious.
Favre underneath, wide open. Antonio Freeman, he had gone in motion, delayed over the middle. No one picked him up. Gain of 16.
What they do, they send Antonio Freeman, number 86, in motion. Watch him to the top of your screen. The defenders get a little confused, and look at the hole it creates for Brett Favre to throw it in to the open space. Easy first down for the Packers.
That Bill Romanowski's man at 53 should have been sliding because there's nobody in the backfield.
Freeman last year with only 8 catches was a non-starter, and this year with the injury to Robert Brooks is the leading receiver coming in with 41. Edgar Bennett, who wants more carries, doesn't get much this time. Alan Aldridge with Tyrone Braxton making the stop.
You know, it really is amazing when you're sitting up here and you're watching them how quick they get to the hole when they go in motion. You were talking about that. It's hard to believe that when you go in motion, you know, most guys go in motion, they trot out. Make sure the defensive guy sees you like, hey, yo, I'm going out in motion. Come on out here with me. These guys are flying.
Edgar Bennett now 3 carries for a -2 yards against this defense. Toughest in the league against the run, Denver.
Dick, a lot of that's because of speed. They have it in every position on defense.
Second and 8. Bennett again. Lost back to the 49. Fumbled the ball after the whistle.
Ray Crockett, the corner, comes up, sees the play, diagnoses it, and gets to the backfield. And that says a lot about your defense when your corner is so aggressive. Watch Michael Dean Perry up at the top, too. He does a good job.
3rd and 12 coming up. Leads the league, rating 95, 10 touchdowns. Made 1 third down and long already in this game. Under pressure, gets away from Hasselback. And now throws downfield, going to be intercepted by Atwater. Atwater, who had one nullified by his own penalty, picks it off at the 20-yard line. It is his 2nd of the season.
Well, I don't know where to begin. Terrific pass rush. What coverage down the field by Steve Atwater. They get good pressure on Brett Favre up the field. Harold Hasselback makes him scramble out. Now, this is where this guy's the most dangerous. But he throws it down the field, and Steve Atwater makes some adjustment to get to the football and make the interception.
You know, the guy that makes this interception work is Darius Johnson, number 25. He doesn't hesitate. When he sees Favre come out to the outside, most backs will back off and start covering. What he did was he forced Favre to throw the ball to that man, Steve Atwater.
So Bill Musgrave, for the injured John Elway, starts from the 21. Pitch back to Musgrave. Throwing for McCaffrey, wide open, and he's down at the 41. No, he was back up. He actually had regained his footing, and so gets another 5-6 yards and a total of 27. And Musgrave took quite a pop as he delivered the ball.
Well, it was a good job by Musgrave up top. Anthony Miller's going to clear out. Watch Ed McCaffrey come across. Look at the big hole. Musgrave sees it, anticipates, and gets rid of the football. Eddie McCaffrey going across the field. The safeties, everybody running deep. And being smart, knows he wasn't touched, gets back up, and gets a few extra yards.
Looked like Leroy Butler, and he says it's not Leroy, but Leroy. Yes, number 36 on a safety blitz. He has 5.5 sacks this year. First down at the 48. Terrell Davis invades Green Bay territory with a 4-yard gain.
You know, you and I were talking at the beginning, and you said about if you're going to run against the Green Bay Packers, they've been pretty good this year against the run, except the last few weeks. If you're going to run against this team with Terrell Davis, you run inside the tackles.
inside. They like to trap inside. And the big thing I see today, you just cannot generate enough speed to go outside because of the slippery conditions.
Same initials as his idol, Tony Dorsett. TD always sounds good to a running back. 2nd and 6. Musgrave to Shannon Sharp, who has a first down at the 39.
Well, how smooth does my boy Bill Musgrave look?
All of a sudden now it's his boy. Your boy now.
Yeah, well, I thought he would come in and play well because he seems to be not real excitable. He throws on rhythm, and he knows this offense so well. And this offense is kind of like Green Bay's. It is set up for a quarterback to do well, to hit a high percentage in 7.
Quarterback friendly.
That's a good word for it.
7 for 9, 81 yards for Musgrave, and a first down at the Green Bay 39. Tied at 3. Davis, not much there. Picks up a couple. When you think about the league this year, it's been an amazing consistent story that backup quarterbacks, when the main guy gets injured, come in and they win. Craig Erickson from Miami, Burline, Freeze, Johnson, Craig. I mean, it's almost every time a big guy is injured, the backup comes in and wins a game.
Well, I think that's right.
And the third guy, Kerwin Bell, comes in the other night and wins.
But I think it is, and this is a good example here. The team gets tired of hearing they can't win when one guy is out, and it kind of riles up the whole team and the coaching staff, and they come out and play pretty well.
2nd and 6. His main target cover. That was a dangerous pass for a loss to Craver, who was covered by Brian Williams. Williams had a pretty good shot at it.
Wow. Wow. Bill Musgrave does a good job of looking at watching here. He's going to go back and he's going to say, he's covered. He knows his outlet is to the right. I know he sees the defender, but he can't stop, but he throws it anyway, and that is just lucky it's not picked off.
I'm going to tell you, you got to give credit to this offensive line of the Denver Broncos. Those guys on that particular play did a great job to give Musgrave a chance to look at 4 different receivers.
A loss of 5 on the play, 3rd and 11. No one in the backfield with Musgrave. And they got him for a loss at the 49 as Doug Evans with a corner blitz.
Well, this works just like it did in practice for the Green Bay Packers. They got some blitzes from the outside. They came free in practice. Watch Doug Evans up top. Comes in. Nobody sees him. The offensive line doesn't see him. There's nobody back in the backfield to pick him up. That is easy for a defensive player.
Tom Ruin into punt for the first time. And into the wind, he sends an end-over-end kick. Desmond Howard at the 13, a flag down, and Howard at the 22, just as he was picking up steam, tackled by Jason, but he's never had
here.
So 15-yard penalty after an 11-yard sack and a completion that was a -5, and a bad kick now by Ruin. That's going to get Green Bay great field position. They're going to get the ball very near midfield. Timeout, 10. Countryside. I don't know about you guys from Youngstown. You didn't see too many of those. That red one was a barn. The other one was a silo, Paul.
You're kidding. Look at this Tom Ruin's punt. Watch the ball, folks. Watch it turn sideways. When it goes sideways, the ball has to go out of bounds. Watch. Here comes a drop, and watch that turn. You got to hit that thing flat on your instep. He missed it. What's it, 14 yards?
24 yards.
24. What a lovely punt that wasn't.
42-yard line, Green Bay, tied at 3. Favre. He was juggling, and they're going to rule that incomplete. Yep, good call at the 46-yard line. Antonio Freeman was still bobbling it as he left the field of play. Ray Crockett, the corner for Denver.
Here's a play. They just know Freeman, he has no chance. Look at the official come down. Watch. He's looking at his watch. Oh, I got my watch. It's 7:15. And he bobbled the ball.
10-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was setting his watch. It was a little ahead on him.
Favre now 4 for 10. Backs. Over! Favre under pressure, throws incomplete. Freeman had broken free, but pass awry. Let's go to New York. Tied as well at 3. 10:36 left in the first half. And Brett Favre takes him out of the huddle, 3rd down 10. flag down. Glenn Cadrez shot. Craig Hendrick with his first punt. Rod Smith at the other end. Beautiful spiral by the former Notre Damer. Smith, belated late fair catch, and takes it at the 13-yard line. Will return. Tied at 3.
He never takes his eyes off the football to look at the punt coverage. He does it by feel. He knows the ball was up in the air too long. You better signal for a fair catch.
Denver at the 13, tied at 3 with Green Bay here at Lambeau Field. Musgrave to Terrell Davis, can't get outside. Eugene Robinson, 41, comes up to make the hit. This is an interesting first half. Each team has 3 possessions. Each has 1 field goal, each with 1 turnover, and each with 1 punt, with 10 minutes left in the half.
This game right now is totally in the hands of the defense. Agree?
I think Denver's offense has done a pretty good job. Been a little unfortunate moving the football, bad break or two, but you know, the Green Bay defense good enough to make the big plays to stop them from scoring.
2nd and 10. Musgrave tipped and incomplete. Intended for McCaffrey.
Wayne Simmons, number 59, tips the ball.
The one thing I can see, Wayne Simmons, again, if you're a defender, watch number 59 on the end of your screen. Short drop, look, read the quarterback, get up in the air, short passes. Green Bay, I would be a little more aggressive. Denver has not shown they're going to go down the field with the football, making sure he can stretch the defense.
For the first time, Musgrave in the shotgun, and he has company. And back there alone, now he sends McCaffrey in motion. Underneath to Shannon Sharp, tackled at the 20 by Leroy Butler, and it's short of the first down by 3.
What a nice play by Leroy Butler. You know, the one thing about Sharp is, all right, well, if he's going to catch the pass, go ahead. But make sure you make the tackle as soon as he does catch the pass, and that's exactly what Butler did.
Well, he said that Shannon Sharp, he knows he's too strong for him. He said, I'm not going to get into a wrestling match with him. He'll throw you aside.
Yeah.
I'll play back. And I might just, he said, I might take a gamble once and dart in front of him. Ruined a punt. Desmond Howard, beautiful kick into the wind. Wynn now catches it, and at the 34, Howard. Crockett coming up to deny Bennett, forcing a loss, and Steve Atwater in the right place for the pick. That's why the Broncos' reputation building defensively, and look what they've done to the top rusher for the Packers, minus 6 yards on 4 carries. Increased quickness on defense. That was Mike Shanahan's goal, and it is paying rich dividends. From the 50-yard line, Favre caught in the backfield for the first sack of the day. Michael Dean Perry and John Mobley will argue as to where it might belong statistically.
I don't know what to say. There's so many good things for the Denver defense this time. First, they come up in a blitz look. Watch Mobley, number 51, comes all the way around with the speed, makes the sack. Brett Favre checked off to get rid of the football fast, but the receivers were so well covered, he couldn't throw it.
Well, Robinson's defense, a minus 4 on that first down, 2nd and 14.
Robinson's confused. All of his things are working. He doesn't know which one to call. Throw anything out there. Go ahead, go get him.
Packers come out with 2 tight ends, Jackson and Chimura. Favre complete to Freeman at the Denver 47. Lionel Washington, the tackler. It'll be 3rd down and about 8.
You know, what I'm seeing when I'm just looking here at Favre, first of all, he doesn't have enough time to throw the ball because everybody's rushing him out of the pocket. But the other thing is, there's nobody to throw the ball to.
Well, that's the difference, Paul. A lot of times when Brett Favre gets out of the pocket in previous games, he makes a lot of plays, and he win their games sometimes because of that. This Denver defense can react. The defensive lineman can run him down. He doesn't have those chances.
Freeman to the left, to the right, Andre Rison. Denver was offside. Free play for Favre. Was tackled back at the line of scrimmage by Michael Dean Perry, but Green Bay is going to get a free.
That's a terrible call.
But it's a 5-yard penalty marked off, and Green Bay now with 3rd down and 3. Bennett, the lone running back. Injuries to wide receivers. The Packers signing Rison, who was released by Jacksonville.
Well, look up top of your screen. Nobody around, nobody underneath. Andre Rison. Brett Favre does a good job of reading it and gets it outside to him.
Andre Rison, in his years with the Falcons, averaging per game 5 catches and 3/4 of a touchdown. Oh, what a nice defensive play by Washington to reach in and deny Antonio Freeman. Washington very proud of the fact that he's one of the 35 and older cornerbacks with Albert Lewis and Darrell Green, and he said, I really learned early with the Raiders those 4 years behind Lester Hayes and Michael Haynes.
Yeah, wasn't that great to hear? He says, I went out there and I wasn't mad because I wasn't starting, because look how good they were, but he sat back and he learned from those 2 good cover guys, and boy, has he put it to good use. He is a good, solid corner, 35 years old and still getting it done outside. It is remarkable.
Very smart, very smart.
2nd and 10. They spread it out this time, Green Bay, and then give it to the fullback, Dorsey Levens. And Levens, who carries 235 pounds on his 6'1" frame, short yardage. Braxton and rookie Darius Johnson with the tackle.
You know, the one thing about Jumpy Gathers, when he's in the ball game, number 79, Phil, it's going to take 2.
Yeah.
I don't care where you go along the line of scrimmage. They're going to put 2 guys on that guy.
It really is funny to watch Jumpy Gathers in there, and when he comes in, he tries to pick up an offensive lineman, and these guys are usually big and fat. Well, they're big. I don't mean fat, but he tries to pick them up, which is quite remarkable.
The old forklift gets under both armpits and just lifts them off the ground. Favre down the middle, complete to Jackson, and a first down at the 18. 14 yards for Keith Jackson. Little histrionics from the veteran from Little Rock, Arkansas. Only the 7th completion in 16 attempts by Favre.
Play action pass keeps the linebackers underneath. Keith Jackson just goes across, and Brett Favre throws it into the open space. And well, Keith couldn't ad-lib there, but he does a good job of finding the open hole.
First down at the Denver 19. 5.5 minutes left in this first half. Edgar Bennett close to the 15 before the whistle sounds. Alfred Williams, 91, with Bill Romanowski backing it up.
Now, you think it's easy to play quarterback in the National Football League. Look at Brett Favre. He's trying to get a snap. His chin strap. He took it off. It's called. I can't get it. He said, I don't need it. Heck, my line will protect me. They won't hit me.
Yeah. Well, they protected there, but it cost them 10 yards. They've called holding.
Offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Center Frank Winters, the only real experienced player in that offensive line. He's in his 10th year.
Watch Frank Winters, number 52, inside. He's the leader of this offensive line, and immediately he gets his hands outside the shoulders, and you could see he threw that flag as soon as that play took off.
Well, the problem, the worst part about the play, not is it holding, but he has Taylor, the guard, to his other side, who was going to help him on a double team. So he really never had to hold anybody. He's had help on Jumpy Gathers in the middle. Whoever he's blocking, they're double teaming in the middle.
Under 5 minutes remaining in the half. William Henderson, the only back behind Favre. Better offside. And the whistle, no play, as the pass goes to first and 25. Favre. Little short on that one, intended for Freeman. And time now to go to New York for this NFL. Cincinnati Bengals looking for their 6th win. Playing well for Bruce Cosley. 2nd and 25. Favre and the Packers. Inside handoff to Dorsey Levens. Well read by the Broncos. Holding his ground was rookie Darius Johnson. He's a 4th-round pick from Oklahoma. Mike Shanahan feels that in the future they've got some real good speed developing at the corners. Darius Johnson and young Torrey James, their 2nd-round pick from LSU.
Yeah, even Lionel Washington had a lot of good things to say about the young corners. So Mike Shanahan's got a feel in the future when his corners get a little too old that he has good replacements and come in and keep playing man-to-man coverage.
3rd down 21. And time called by Denver. Broncos unable.
The defensive coordinator for the Broncos had a little refresher course of the hand signals to make sure that that doesn't occur again. Dick?
All right, Jim. Second down and 21 at the Denver 31. Green Bay trying to make it third and 21, trying to break this 3-3 tie. Favre with some time. Bullet complete to the 9. Depending on the mark, and it will be marked well, it'll be a first down.
Now he threw that ball hard.
That is just a wonderful job by the offensive line. Look at the time they give Brett Favre. He's able to step up. They're able to clear everybody out and get an open hole for the receiver. And look at Brett Favre. That is like, well, that's the number one. That is a fastball. Good follow through.
Like
Rocket man.
Outfield right fielder throwing you out on the at the plate on a tag up fly ball. Favre positions the Packers first and goal inside the 9. Fake to Bennett, throw back incomplete. It's complete, but nowhere to go for William Henderson. In John Mobley's arms, he winds up as someone did some good schooling on that Denver defense to pick off that play.
You know, this play has been run by the San Francisco 49ers when Mike Holmgren was there, here in Green Bay, by anybody that's worked under Bill Walsh. Play action to the left. The fullback's on the left side, comes underneath, and of course, Denver runs the same play about every week, too, so they should defense it well.
Mobley did a great job.
11th play of the drive that started back at the 50. Stopped at the 5, fights to the 4. Steve Atwater came up to help out. Jumpy gathers on the tackle. Braxton there as well.
Jumpy gathers underneath. I mean, what he does in the middle is just phenomenal. He gets double teamed almost every play he's in. Number 79. Here's a double team. Look what he does. He fights them off. He fights winners off. He makes the play. Now, is that any good?
As we approach and hit the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in the half. Green Bay threatens to break this 3-all tie. 30 Eastern. Third and goal, Green Bay at the 4. Tied at 3. Final 2 minutes of the half. Favre changing his call. That's Dorsey Levens. Favre throws incomplete. No flag. It appeared Lionel Washington made early contact on Antonio Freeman, but Denver has forced the Packers to bring on the field goal unit.
Boy, don't you love what Denver did, though, Dick? They lined up in one defense, showed Favre one front, and then he called an audible. They switched over, and then Lionel Washington gave him the opportunity to look to the outside. You think you got it open? Watch his hand come in and knock the ball out. Boom. That's a good play.
Really a good job. Lionel Washington comes off his receiver, sees it coming outside. He knows they have the blitz on. He's waiting for the quick throw. Good job by Lionel Washington.
So that took him 12 plays from the 50, stopped at the 4, and Jackie's second field goal attempt. No more than an extra point, and Green Bay and high. Hebron racing up to the 19 to collect it. Oh, what a move by Hebron. He still is a live carry. Although they say he's down by contact, it appeared that he might have slipped under his own power and had a chance to run on. Let's go to Jim Gray.
Now they got to give me a dozen of those hats in different colors. I'll tell you, that's beautiful.
First down at the 37. Musgrave to the sidelines, and Shannon Sharp denied by Leroy Butler.
The one thing, Diego.
1:44 left, first half. Bill Musgrave underneath to Shannon Sharp, and he's drilled by Butler. So Butler just wearing him like an old coat.
Yeah, but they had like 3.
Sharp Shannon and Sharp Sterling, their brother combination, only 13 catches from 1,000 between them. On 3rd and 7, Musgrave incomplete to Mike Sherrard, broken up by Tyrone Williams.
I know what Sherrard's looking at. Sherrard's looking at, wait a minute, how long can you keep your hands on me?
Desmond Howard, fair catch at the 27th. 34-yard punt, no return. 51 seconds.
Trying to wipe out Mike Holmgren.
Favre to the sidelines to Freeman. It's a catch out at the 44. with 45 seconds left. First down, Green Bay, 17 on the play.
Well, they ran this exact pattern earlier in the game, and Brett Favre underthrew it.
Catches and 72 yards for the former Hokie from Virginia Tech. Underneath, no one picks up Chimura, and he is breaking tackles. 35, 30, and out of bounds at the 28.
You have an all-out blitz, Phil. Romanowski comes, and nobody covers the tight end. They didn't cover either one of the tight ends.
It's an all-out mess-up. That's what it is. Two people come out. Nobody's covering the tight end, Chimura, or the running back, Dorsey Levens. There had to be a
screen. Levens got a blocker. 20 to the 19-yard line. Toppled by Lionel Washington. Timeout, Green Bay. 29. High credit to Walsh's pursuit of excellence and perfection. He said, like a kid, I said, boy, if I ever coach, I'll never be that demanding. He said, I'm doing the same thing as Walsh.
Oh, I know. That was great to hear.
From the 29. 3 for 3 is Favre on this drive. Now Bennett on the draw. Hit hard at the 14-yard line by Tyrone Braxton. Second timeout spent by Green Bay. Confirmation of your point, Paul. Denver, number of players started at least one game.
And also, I think another important factor for Denver, they play on grass all
ground either. These guys, I mean, they work hard at practice, but they don't do pads. They get the things done. They do everything in timing, and just take a look at it. It's 12-1. It's got to work. Can't argue with it.
Well, 2 seconds. First down at the Denver 14. Muscles away from the pass rush, throws in the end zone, touchdown, Antonio Freeman.
Anything he misplayed.
And he'll never change, you know that. He's the Bobby Lane of this era. The tight end, Byron Chamberlain, brings out the skidding kick, fumbles the ball at the 35. And it appears Denver was able to recapture it. 11 seconds left. Jeff Robinson on the football. Jim?
Dick, Michael Dean Perry, when he came off the field, apologized to every member of the defensive unit, saying he should have had the sack. Each guy came off the field. He said he was sorry. He said he should have had it. Should have never been a touchdown. And also, Tyrone Braxton twisted his left knee, and he will return in the second half.
All right, Jim.
Does that mean Michael Dean's going to give this game check back?
You never know.
I don't think so.
He's not going to give it to you. I do know that, even though you're one of his favorites.
That's my pal.
Yeah, he likes being around you, Paul, because he feels...
You going to tell a story again? Are you going to tell it? Go ahead.
No. I'm not even going to do it. He has nothing but nice things to say about you.
11 seconds and no chances taken by Denver. They give it to Terrell Davis, and he struggles for a 5.
He told his team, hey, I told you guys Denver's a very dangerous team, and they showed how dangerous they were up until that last 45 seconds. He cautioned his team not to let down here in the second half and have another performance like that first half, because he says Denver will hang in throughout the game. Now, as for Mike Shanahan, he was very pleased, said this game is basically an even game, except for a great play by Brett Favre there at the end of the first half. Dick?
You saw Holmgren with his chill factor under 10. He's a native of San Francisco, and he admitted to us yesterday, I have all the clothing I can find to try to keep off the chill. He doesn't like the cold weather. He likes the team, though, in the cold weather. Favre, plenty of time, and Steve Atwater had Antonio Freeman blanketed. Bill Romanowski.
Well, let's take a look at Bill Romanowski. Look at this stance, how he cocks himself, looking back into the backfield, but watch what it does. Keith Jackson, he has him in man coverage. He pushes him, has great angles, and now Keith Jackson really cannot get away in time to get open. That stance, Keith Jackson says, it makes it hard for the tight end to get down the field, get away from him before the rush gets to the quarterback.
And Romanowski learned that from some of your ex-teammates with New York.
Saw it on film and learned it from Carl Banks, the linebacker.
Up the middle goes Dorsey Levens, and he is tackled by Alan Aldridge.
That stance not only enables him, Dick, to do a good job against the pass, but it really does an outstanding job for him against the run.
Alan Aldridge here is a linebacker on the left-hand side. Now watch what he does. He's reading the tight end, sees the tight end blocking. Now the first thing he does now is look back in the backfield. He makes a tackle on 11th. I don't think that Green Bay wants to come out against the Denver Broncos and try to be conservative. If you are, you're going to get beat.
I don't think they know how to do that, Paul. This Green Bay offense and Mike Holmgren, who calls the plays, they stay aggressive the whole game.
Third down 3. Favre scrambles, throws downfield, intercepted. Another interception. Braxton, who was injured in the first half, and Tyrone Braxton to the 28-yard line. That was much like the pick of Steve Atwater in the first half.
Now, Phil, Favre is throwing the ball away. He's throwing the ball away because the receiver's going downfield. I mean, it was too far to the inside.
Paul, I got to tell you, he wasn't. He was throwing it down the field, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he's running right, and he hooks it, believe it or not. I've done this many times. Good coverage. The secondary, look at that. They pressure the quarterback. It gets away from him. He's trying to throw it outside to Antonio Freeman. Tyrone Braxton, he has had a super year this year. Mike Shanahan told us yesterday.
Again, Mobley coming up, forcing it.
The 8th interception, and Favre not liking it a bit. First down as Braxton gets Denver to the Green Bay 28, trailing by 10. Terrell Davis out to the 23-yard line and a gain of 5 on first down. Tyrone Braxton, who played at North Dakota State, was the next to last pick in the draft of '87 and having the best year of his professional life.
I like what he told us a couple of weeks ago. He's doing so well, but he left in 1994 to go to the Miami Dolphins. Denver's defense had a terrible year, and he goes, it was good to know that I wasn't the problem on that defense. So he's come back, and he's really played well the last 2 years.
Second and 5, Davis again. Trying the tackle slot to the 21. Back to Braxton. It's especially fulfilling for him to play well here today because he grew up in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. Remember, he used to dig graves as a kid during the summers.
Oh, that's right. He told us that story. What happened? He knocked the tombstone over once.
And he looked down. He was down. It was Braxton.
It said Braxton.
But it was a great uncle or something.
It was, yes.
That was scary.
That's right.
But I'll tell you one thing about him. When he went after that interception, a lot of players don't sacrifice like he did for that ball. He knew that was his.
So Davis now has passed Otis Armstrong, the all-time Bronco rushing season. And I don't believe he made the first down. He did not on third and about 3. Made a yard, and on comes Jason Elam in the field goal unit.
See, the one thing about Terrell Davis that the Green Bay Packers know, and everyone in professional football knows, that he runs from tackle to tackle. Very rarely does this guy, leading the league in rushing, go to the outside. He stays inside, and they play him that way.
3 straight runs by Davis. Musgrave not throwing the ball at all, and now a 39-yard attempt by Elam. He scuffed it a bit, but knocks it home, and it's now a touchdown lead for Green Bay. Braxton's interception. Broncos, after Braxton's interception, a 39-yard field goal to cut Green Bay's lead to 7.
That's an earmuff.
And Elam has it teed up in this weather. Temperature around 30, but with a 20-plus mile-an-hour winds, and you can see they need to have some help just to keep the ball on the tee. The chill factor down close to 0. Tracy Sherby joins Desmond Howard at the other end. And Elam's kick inside the 5 to Howard. Good coverage again by the Broncos, and it's Darius Johnson back-to-back tackles on special teams for the Oklahoma rookie. Well, tonight, it's a race for the family fortune with Phil Hartman, Jerry Burns, Michael J. Fox, and Olivia DeVoe.
When she's through with him, there'll be nothing left of him but a smile and an old hat.
With Kirk Douglas, they'll do anything for money. Greedy NBC tonight. 9 yards on the kickoff return for Howard, one of the best in the league. So Favre's first possession, second half begins, or second possession starts at the 12. Intercepted in his last time on the field. Comes out throwing whistles and no play.
I'm sorry, Dick, but this Denver defense is giving him fits. Favre is checking off.
Snap. False start. Offense. Number 89. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Chamorro, but this defense is really giving them fits. They're moving around. They're going in gaps, and they're coming back out again.
Watch Chamorro, number 89. Whoops. Well, that can happen. Brett Favre changed the play. The players become a little uncertain, and a lot of times that leads to making movements before the snap count.
Risen to the right, Freeman to the left. From the 7, first and 15. Favre over the middle. Freeman dumped at the 20-yard line. A gain of 13. It'll be 2nd and 2. Atwater and Mobley, the tacklers.
Antonio Freeman, a big receiver, not afraid to come across the middle. Lionel Washington, number 48, thought it was run, got fooled on the play-action fake, and it was wide open.
Here's Romanowski again, line up on Chamorro the same way he did on Jackson. Look at this. Chamorro is kind of blocking him, trying to release. But Romanowski, there's no place to go.
So the century mark in yardage for Antonio Freeman. They call him Button. And he's got 100 yards on 6 catches. No one expected him to get the ball, and the flag is down. Henderson, who carries rarely, has just over 100 yards rushing all year, but they may be bringing this one back. The preliminary signal was holding.
Holding against the Green Bay Packers. That hole was a little bit too big, but
yeah, but you know, I'll tell you what, though, and I'm not taking anything away from Green Bay's line, but all their runs are deception. People moving, get them out of the backfield.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's John Michaels, the left tackle, a rookie from USC.
He's up on the top side, yeah.
You see he's against Alfred Williams, and he gets beat so fast, and
wait a minute. That is a terrible call. There's another one. How can that guy call that? He didn't grab him.
It's away from the play, too, so you got to take that into account sometimes, and you're right. No, there was no penalty there.
2nd down and 12. Favre under pressure, batted in the air. Is it intercepted? No. A shot. Mobley diving for it. Could not quite scoop it off the ground. No, Mobley was the man who deflected it. And it was Aldridge, Alan Aldridge, the other linebacker, that was trying to dig it out before it hit the Lambeau Field turf.
I'm sorry, Dick, but watch Mobley again. The linebacker coming around, just the speed. Look at the pressure they're putting on the quarterback. And Mobley with the speed there just gets in the face of Brett Favre. And really, lucky for Green Bay, it's not intercepted by Alan Aldridge.
3rd down and a dozen. Green Bay.
Well, Denver's doing on defense. That come after him every time.
Rice in motion. Favre sets up. Chamorro to the 35, first down. Another 3rd down throw by Brett Favre. We told you, best in the league on 3rd down. 24 on the play.
The one thing about this, Phil, look at Favre. Now watch the defense. Watch what he has. Look at the lane he has to throw. It's wide open for him to see Chamorro coming open down the field. When you're going to rush 4 guys, you cannot give him a lane.
And watch Brett Favre. Good job of following through. I love after he throws every single football, the body language. Get a run. Oh, help it along. And no matter what the throw is, he moves with it.
First down, and he goes upstairs. Incomplete to Freeman, and a jump ball contest with Ray Crockett.
Oh, man. Ray Crockett, what a great job he did on Freeman downfield. He's watching Freeman, then he looks back at the last second to see the ball, and then go up and knock it away. Here it is here. Look at Phil. Now watch. He'll look back at the ball.
Oh,
great defensive play, and he goes up and knocks the ball away. That's outstanding.
There you see Ray Crockett. Seems to be okay for this play at least. Torrey James, the rookie from LSU, number 20, plays at the right corner. Flag again. And incomplete the pass to Freeman. And Favre for the fourth strong arm look. And Brett Favre has studied him. And here's his impersonation.
Oh, it's awesome. He's got it. Hey, look how he walks along. Just leans the head. That's what I like.
He is a killer. Guns. And it's complete at the 49-yard line. A tough catch for Freeman with James right on him.
I don't know how Atwater misses this ball. I mean, Atwater, look at even Freeman's laughing. He says, this should have been touchdown Denver. Look at where this ball comes and where Atwater is.
Well, Favre hesitated. Atwater read it. He went for the interception, but the one thing he didn't take into account, Brett Favre throws it about 90 miles an hour, and he gets there a lot faster than most quarterbacks can get it there.
Did it ever. Another Green Bay first down. Remember, this started way back after the penalty from the 10-yard line. 13-6 the score. 9 minutes left in the third. Blitz. And he hits Freeman, and now he's in the clear. Oh, breaks free. Braxton to beat. And it's Antonio Freeman. Touchdown. 51 yards. Touchdown today. He's got 8 catches, 152 yards for a man. You can see his left arm. He broke his arm at midseason, came back early, and has he been productive?
Well, on this play, two things happen. The ball is in the right spot. They read blitz, and he throws it outside. But also number 88, Keith Jackson, comes back and makes a great block on Braxton that enables Freeman to get the touchdown.
The blower to the 6-yard line. Vaughn Hebron to the 25-yard line. Back player. Now a 14-point lead and the crowd alive. Musgrave. First throw of the second half. Runs it away. Aaron Craver covered by Brian Williams.
Well, watch Craig Robinson, the defensive coordinator. He's tore up over this. I mean, he's mad because he knows it's the perfect call. You get the safety free, and the corner's #1 job, do not let them make a big play out of it if they catch.
Apparently the cast on that broken forearm cracked, and so he's going back to the locker room. He's not injured. 2nd and 10 for Bill Musgrave. Sean Jones pressuring and incomplete to Craver. Same play to the other side, and Jones decks Musgrave as he throws.
Well, Musgrave now is looking downfield, and the reason he doesn't see anybody because they're all covered, and he just kind of dumps this to Craver the outside. Sean Jones is in there, gets him at the ankles, but he's all right. When I looked at that whole secondary field, there wasn't a guy even close to being open.
2 straight plays, they've covered them all.
Bill Musgrave, who has returned to his home state, Colorado, played high school ball at Grand Junction. Packers show blitz. Musgrave steps up and overthrows and should have been intercepted through the arms of Leroy Butler. That would have been his 6th. No, make that Mike Pryor, an extra DB. Pryor in there. And the fans love the defense.
Pressure on the quarterback makes the ball get away from him. It's an overthrow. Fortunate it's not intercepted.
You know the difference between Musgrave and Elway? Elway steps up and then makes the throw. Musgrave sits there and doesn't step up.
Tom Ruin to Desmond Howard with 10 Packers on the line of scrimmage. He scuffs this one. Line drive to Howard, who takes it to the 48-yard line. Jeff Robinson the tackle again. Timeout. 8:15 left in the third. His absence from injury the last series. And off to Bennett. Smothered at the 50. A gain of 2. Mike Holmgren, we asked him yesterday, you know, he's got kind of a young baby face, and back when he was a young guy in his 20s, did you grow the mustache because you want to look older? He said, well, kind of guess. And he said, I said, how many times have you shaved it? He said, 3. And the last time was this last year. He said, you know, in Green Bay, you have a little success. Everyone knows you, and he wanted to shave it. He got his hair cut, put on a hat. They went to Paris with his wife, Kathy. First day, he's looking in the Louvre at the Mona Lisa, and somebody says, "Hey, Coach, how about an autograph?"
Oh, is that awesome?
Offside. Another one. Free play for Favre to Risen, incomplete. Let's see, there were 2 other times he said he shaved it. Once was when Kathy had one of their 4 daughters, and he went in to see her. He said, "I got a real short haircut, shaved my mustache." She laughed hysterically. So we thought, what would it look like for Holmgren without the mustache? So, well, it's not exactly funny, but he does change his appearance.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. I keep that thing on my lip for him.
Well, you're biased.
You need to grow one for your... Well, never mind.
I have mustache.
The other time, the first time he shaved it, high school coach, first job, he was 0-22. Finally won a game, and his players said, "We get to shave it off."
He thought it was a safe bet if he said, "I'll shave it if we win."
Through the hands of Keith Jackson, tried to run before he caught it. He had some running room.
You know, there's one of those things where you just see Favre now throw the ball. He looks around, people are covered. He can make things happen, and he can't put this ball in a better place. He hits him in the hands.
Well, it's
and
a little,
drops it.
Well, it's a little bit behind the receiver, but the thing I'm noticing, this Denver defense has been out on the field from the second quarter all the way to now. Their offense is not keeping them up, and they're getting tired. They're not getting to the quarterback. They pressured him every single play, but in the last few passes, they can't get to him now.
3rd down and 3. Favre stepping up. Gets away. Gets a block. There's Jackson, incomplete. Favre unhappy with himself. After all that work, he had a man open and overshot Keith Jackson.
I'll take a tired guy on that field. It's number 95, Michael Dean Perry. Michael Dean Perry is chasing him all over the place, and then he gets knocked down. He actually gets clipped, but it's in the backfield, and again, that's legal. Watch number 95, the right of your screen. Now, when he comes back out this side, there goes Michael Dean down. He's clipped. Favre throws a little body action.
Oh, only the second punt of the day for Craig Hendrick. Rod Smith, fair catch at the 12. Ooh, looked like he caught the ball. Did he not signal? 18-yard line, no flag. Denver has the ball at the 18, trailing by 14. We all admire those qualities. Pete Rozelle yet had time to always tap the shoulder of the little guy. 30 years ago, I received a phone call in my rookie year as the Rams announcer, and Pete Rozelle, the commissioner of the league, said, "Think you're doing a good job. Keep it up." That meant a lot to me, and what he did for all of us watching on television, because that was the vehicle he used so well, should mean a lot to everyone who watches and enjoys this game today. This is Pete Rozelle. Oh, my. Bill Musgrave's Leroy Butler from a safety position, planting the quarterback of Denver.
Well, Leroy Butler has blitzed about 6 times today, and I think he's come free without being touched 5 times. Watch him, number 36. You're the quarterback. Look at the hole. Good job by the defense, spreading their players out, letting him come in there. Fritz Shermer doing a good job with the blitz today.
You are when you send more people and they have the block with. I mean, you got some major problems.
Tells you something about this defense. Butler has more sacks than Reggie White. 6.5 now. Cross to Davis, flag down, no play, ball start.
And you know what, Dick? I think Leroy Butler is going to tell Reggie about that come tomorrow, too.
Did they kind of get after themselves in the meeting?
You know, the thing is, though, Reggie White, you tired him out.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. Number 84, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Fritz Shermer's defense creating another play. Well, Reggie White, his favorite target was Phil Simms in his great career. Wait a minute.
Well, you know, Neil Lomax, he just held the ball too long. That was his problem. You know what, Joe? I'm surprised Reggie withstood all that punishment I gave him over the years.
He could have hurt himself hitting you.
That's right.
Crowd making it tough on Musgrave. Pumps. Throws for McCaffrey, but no chance. Well, let's just to give you some evidence to make you feel good, Phil. We thought you'd enjoy reliving your encounters with Philadelphia's Reggie White. That was kind of that little easy toss down, I love you, Phil. And then he just dragged you down. Then he said, well, how about these? Just kind of drive you into the turf.
Oh, that last one really hurt. That put me out of the game.
You fumbled.
That's not nice.
You fumbled.
I know I fumbled. If you got hit by Reggie White, you fumbled too.
You fumbled.
Reggie said you called him a bad name, and that's why he got even with you.
He did.
Now from the 8-yard line. 3rd and 20, Musgrave. Underneath, Mike Sherrard. Not much there at all. Tyrone Williams on the coverage. No fumble after the play. Out at the 11-yard line, the ball ruled dead.
But what's happened here today, the first couple drives, Denver's offense had success. And then Green Bay changed their philosophy. They said, let's just get after the quarterback. Let's pressure the wide receivers because they're not going down the field. And the strategy has really worked well.
Ruined a punt. 45-yard line, Howard. Willie Wood was the last Packer to return 2 punts for a touchdown in the season. Back in the Vince Lombardi Super Bowl Packer days of the 60s.
We've been talking all day about how good the Denver Bronco defense is. #1 against the rush, and all these things happen. But I'm going to tell you now, Phil and I were talking just when we went to a break. This Packer defense today showed up. I mean, we saw last week, we saw the Oakland Raider defense do a job on Miami. You're seeing a defense right now that made up their minds. They're going to shut down the Denver Broncos today, and they did it.
Rich Shermer has been a terrific coach wherever he's landed.
He sure has, and the Nutty Professor always comes up with good schemes that work.
Faking as Levens on the draw play to the 41-yard line, a yard short of a first down. Mawa Tanuvasa made the tackle.
Look at how nice he carries this play out. Watch Favre. Forget where the ball is. Watch what Favre does. Look at this. That holds the defensive lineman. I know he reacts to everything. When he throws, he reacts. But I'm going to tell you what, that does hold a couple of people and enables Levens to get downfield for about 9 yards.
Well, that's the basic philosophy here. The run to set up, the pass to set up the run. And there the fake pass.
And Mike Holmgren said it best. He says, I hate running on first down because I really, truly hate 2nd and 9.
Quarterback sneak for Favre and a first down inside the 40.
What does that tell you now? Wait a minute. He said, here's Favre with a quarterback sneak now to pick up the first down. He just goes in behind the center. Wait a minute. Now, what he's saying, I don't have any confidence in my running game?
No, what he's saying is I have a lot of confidence in my passing game, and we're going to throw a lot of 5-yard patterns instead of trying to run it. And the amazing thing, too, is Green Bay, a passing offense, you always say it can't work in the Northeast or up here where it's cold. They've proven that it can work when it's cold and the field is sloppy and wet.
It is cold here.
4 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter. Levens driving inside the 35-yard line, and we remind you that next Sunday, for Saturday, San Diego at Chicago here on NBC, and on Sunday, NBC Sports presents more exciting NFL action, 12 noon Eastern. Most of you will see Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots against Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys. What a matchup. And Carolina hosts Baltimore. Second half of our doubleheader will be at Mile High. Broncos hosting the Oakland Raiders. Others will see the Chiefs Colts or the Bengals Oilers. All those games with playoff implications beginning at noon on Sunday. And Brett Favre trying to comfort the umpire. Boy, he took a whack on the left side of the face.
The umpire is Jeff Rice.
Oh, he gets hit from behind.
He gets hit by Levens, hits him right in the head.
He gets credit for the tackle, I think, but watch him get hit. He gets pushed in, and
but he did.
That's unfortunate, but he's walking off the field.
Just they cut his ear, but he did get credit for the tackle.
Boy, the umpires are such a tough job. You're getting bound. It's a wonder it doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, I'm always amazed. I watch films all the years I was a player, and now is doing this, and you see him jumping around in the crowds, and they really avoid a lot of hits. He's got a little smile on his face.
Oh, yeah, he comes out, but he wanted, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm as tough as the players. I'm all right.
I beat him up. I didn't even have a helmet.
Jeff Rice. Yeah, he really chewed up a little bit of that earlobe. Meanwhile, second down 4 for Favre and the Packers late in the third quarter. Full start against Green Bay. Seems as if Green Bay, for the last 2 quarters, is the only team with the football on offense.
Well, it's because it's true. They're the only team that's had it.
You know what's really amazing? Now, here's a team that a quarterback's thrown for over 3,000 yards.
Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
The Green Bay Packers have thrown the ball for over 3,000 yards, Brett Favre, right? And in the National Football League, they don't have one receiver in the top 50 in receptions leading. I mean, that to me is incredible.
Well, injuries have stopped that, but also the system, Paul, regardless of who's playing certain receivers for them, tight end or the wide receiver, they make it work.
3:15 left in the third, second and 9. He's to the 25-yard line, 30-yard line, and just short of a first down. Be 3rd and 1.
Well, Green Bay spreads you out. The receivers are all over the field, and Dorsey Levens, there's nobody behind the line of scrimmage to pick him up except the safety, Steve Atwater.
I'll tell you what's happening, and you said it in the last series of downs. This defense for the Denver Broncos, these guys are tired. I mean, they've been out there an awfully long time.
Yeah, they've lost their enthusiasm. You can see it, and the only way they have a chance to win this game, this defense is going to have to come up with a big play.
Evans again. They're using him more and more, as you could see. Had a good game against the Bears a week ago, and is over 60 yards today rushing. Man, that's 235 that can run a 4.5 40. Gives Mike Holmgren just another weapon.
Well, it really has to be difficult for a team. And here's Favre with the Green Bay Packer offense. They're just moving up and down the field. Just going up and down the field. And when you look at Denver, as soon as they get the ball, it's 3 plays and out. And they're quick 3 plays because they're throwing the ball, and the clock is stopping. Green Bay's going to, the time of possession of this game is going to be astronomical.
Yeah, Denver does not have a first down in the second half. Another first down for Green Bay. Levens skipping around, 1 tackle, breaking 2 more. Battles to the 15. What a run.
What a run by Dorsey Levens. Breaking the tackles. This did not happen earlier in the game, so it just shows you it's a tired defense. Adam Timmerman, number 63, pulls out. Good job, good block on Bill Romanowski, and just good effort on the run.
But you don't, I mean, we've seen this Denver team 4 times this year, and he's getting blocked, Romanowski. He comes back, and he really has no chance on the play. But you don't see this, we have not seen this Denver Bronco team miss this many tackles.
1 minute left in the third. Levens given a breather, and Edgar Bennett back in. First down at the 15 of Denver. 14-point lead Green Bay, and Bennett gets 3 and then lurches forward. Whistle had not sounded. And may have almost 5 on the play before Perry and Aldridge can collaborate on the stop. Well, the one factor, along with Elway not being available today, is that you clinch all of the motivational plums. The Denver Broncos are going to be home throughout the playoffs. As long as they win, they're going to be home. The only thing that Mike Shanahan had going for him today in terms of motivation was to say, hey, we're 12-1. Let's maintain a high level of play. We don't want it to start on a downslide. Buck the Tillman, who had played so well, and this is Favre throwing to the 5-yard line. Shimura. They love Shimura up here, and welcome him back. He's got it at the 5, close to another first down at the end of the third quarter. Offensively with backup quarterback Bill Musgrave. Now these Packer fans are really special, and this is the second generation. This is the generation that heard from their fathers and mothers and grandparents about Bart Starr and Jim Taylor and Horning and Fuzzy Thurston and Henry Jordan and Nitschke and Davis and all the great Lombardi Packers, and now they feel it's their time. William Henderson burrows to the 1-yard line.
Well, that little song you were hearing, Dick, up here is called the Pack Arena. And I know you were doing it, and you looked very nice.
You didn't know he had that kind of rhythm, did you?
I really didn't. Man, now there's a hat now. That's a hat.
What is that? Is that a skunk?
No, it's not. What is that?
Yak. There's a good hat.
Hey, by the way, your efforts trying to leap up that Lambeau leap were really something I'd like to see again.
Oh, I wish you'd show Jim Gray's hat again. That's the best hat in the building.
Second and goal, Green Bay. Fake to Anderson. Fake on the reverse. Favre runs it for a touchdown. Keith Jackson has his 9th of the year. A career high for the Pro Bowler Jackson. His 3rd touchdown throw of the game, his 34th of the season. He leads the NFL. It went overtime, won by Green Bay. The record crowd, but not lost all year at home at Lambeau. Hendrick to Hebron. Whoa! Rushing tackle. Number 55, Bernardo Harris.
Well, the Denver Bronco defense today, it's really actually playing a pretty good game. They have just never seen anybody play quarterback like Brett Favre. Watch this. Jumps in the air, fakes the ball right, and then finds Keith Jackson in the back of the end zone. Now check out Brett Favre after he throws it. Gets excited, celebrate. I'll tell you.
Son of a high school coach. His dad coached for 25 years down in Mississippi. Crowd not giving up. Packers can't win by enough. Terrell Davis battles out to the 26-yard line. Let's check elsewhere. Back to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick, it's Cincinnati. Vinny Testaverde from 7 yards out finds rookie Jermaine Lewis in the end zone. His first career touchdown with the extra point. The Ravens grab a 1-point lead on the Bengals, 14-13. 4 minutes to play in regulation, Dick.
Greg, and Vinny Testaverde's had a terrific season with the Ravens.
Yeah, but will anybody give him credit for it?
Nope. Not many.
That's right.
Another flag.
Now the right guard went.
Brian Habib.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
You know, when you're that big and you move before everyone else, you'll see it here, right there, boom. When you leave that quick, they're going to see it. You cannot be missed. You know, the defense is sitting over there on the bench for Denver saying,
get a
first
down.
That's right.
Well, the only positive for the Broncos the entire second half was the interception by Braxton, and they got a field goal out of that, but gained only 7 yards after the interception.
6 possessions, 19 yards of offense.
Davis splits that blitz and gets across the 30 to the 31, a yard shy of the first down. Their last first down for the Broncos was the 3rd play of the 2nd quarter.
Well, Green Bay has all 11 defenders within about a couple yards of the line of scrimmage, just giving this Bronco offense now no respect, knowing they're not going to force the ball down the field or go outside, and they're making it easy.
3rd and 1. Throw to McCaffrey, and finally a first down, and horse-collared by Eugene Robinson is McCaffrey.
You know, one of the things that offensive linemen love to do, and when you talk to them week in and week out like we have, is they love the run block. They really do, because they think that they have the advantage. Now, here's a play-action pass by Musgrave. Gets to the outside. McCaffrey picks up the first down, and the defense, they're very happy about all this. But when you, I mean, I said the offensive linemen like to run block, but when the Green Bay Packers put 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, now it makes that even difficult.
Took roughly 31 minutes for Denver to gain a first down. Davis. Robinson gets into the turf at the 45-yard line. When you consider the fact that if you know that Elway isn't going to play and you're a defensive coordinator, and Sherman's got to say, we're not going to let Terrell Davis beat us. And for Davis to gain any yards today is going to be a credit to his talent.
Well, I think really, Dick, watching the game, I think that Fred Sherman came out, showed respect to this offense, because they did play a little soft the first couple series, but then he could see the pattern. He says, the heck with this. I got talent. We can be aggressive. And since they've turned it on and started playing aggressive defense, Denver can do nothing with them.
2nd and 5. Musgrave just does skip out of cover, and then he fumbles the ball. Recovered by Green Bay at the 35-yard line. Sean Jones and Doug Evans collaborate on the hit, and Reggie White recovers the fumble.
That's right, Doug Evans, the defensive back, again, pressuring the offense, blitzing. Musgrave never saw the pressure from behind.
Doug Evans, the cornerback, 33. Musgrave didn't see him. He'd gotten away from Brian Williams, figured he had some time. Packers have the ball again, leading 27-6.
Yeah, right.
But I always had this thing about being big because my big brother Sterling would always beat me up, and so he's always worked hard in the weight room. 25-yard line, appears to have another Green Bay first down, and another update in New York.
All right, Dick, and back to
Still turning around, change their attitude, and they're aggressive, disciplined. They've always been fun to watch.
Favre has to hurry. They play clock down to 5-4. Not quite a first down, third and less than a yard. Levens hit, falls forward inside the 25, and that'll be a first down. Steve Atwater made the hit in the backfield, but Levens able to power his way forward. 84 yards now for Dorsey Levens, his career high.
You know, one of the things this game has given the Green Bay Packers an opportunity to do too, Dick, is to work on their running game. You know, they're ahead 27-6. Gives you that opportunity now to let's work on some things that we haven't been doing very well.
Following Green Bay, this is about the only time they really ever work on their running game, when they know they got it won and they're just trying to run the clock out.
They have not had a 100-yard rusher all season. So Levens to do it. Edgar Bennett this time. And unsuccessful. Alfred Williams made the tackle after John Mobley slowed him up.
Boy, Edgar Bennett comes in the game, and all of a sudden the blocking just goes everywhere.
Bennett, 9 carries, 5 yards.
You know, you got a feeling when you come into the game, because Bennett really has not had much of a day today running the football. So it was Denver was geared up for him to carry the ball and run it, not worrying too much about Levens. And here comes Levens, and he has a field day.
Second and 13.
You know what, though, watching this game, even though it's dominating by the Packers on the scoreboard, it really doesn't change my opinions too much about the Denver Broncos. I still think I'd still argue it's the best team in football.
Levens. Big man get enough speed to get out of some trouble to the 25-yard line. Aldridge and Romanowski tackled. And we remind you, next Saturday, football NFL here on NBC. 3:30, join us for the NFL on NBC. And then watch as the Bears host the Chargers. That's a special Saturday edition of the NFL starting at 3:30 Eastern. Game time at 4.
You know, Dick, we came into this game with it. You know, here's the defense, and they wanted to prove something. The offense wanted to prove something for Denver. Hey, this is not just John Elway's team. Well, guess what? He's got a lot to do with it.
Midpoint of the fourth quarter, 3rd and 10 for Favre. Whoops. Levens was definitely going forward from in motion. The throw deep to Freeman. He has the hat trick. 3rd touchdown for Freeman. Will it count? Dorsey Levens was actually going forward in motion, but no call.
For Favre. And another great throw, Dick. I mean, that's the word for it. Great.
Flag on the play.
Bill Musgrave, in his first NFL start, returns and will be facing some backup defenders in the green of Green Bay.
Illegal block in the back above the waist. Number 59, 10-yard penalty. First down.
You know, they can see this stuff, Phil, on a play like this. You mean to tell me you can't see this? Look at
Watch Dorsey Levens, number 25, in motion. Oh, he goes twice. He makes movement towards the line of scrimmage. Not called. Up top, you can see it. Antonio Freeman gives Lionel Washington a double move, creates just enough of a hole for Brett Favre to throw a strike in there. And watch the people that greet Brett Favre after touchdowns.
How about this? Watch these eyeballs, folks.
Hey.
This is Christmas early for Freeman with 3 touchdowns and a fumble. Here's everything going against Denver, and the Packers have it again at the 15-yard line. And for a team with the best record in the league, 9 straight wins, Mike Shanahan, everything is crumbling and collapsing in one afternoon in Green Bay. And there's not a fan here in Packerland that isn't staying right here to enjoy it all.
This is Smith coming up, number 42. Detron Smith, and he fumbles the football. But I got to tell you right now, Mike Shanahan saying, let me get out of here without any injuries. Let me get out of here. Is that what Hebron?
Doug Peterson takes over for Favre at quarterback at the Denver 15. Not a bad place to come into a game. So Smith rarely used. The backup fullback fumbles on his first chance. Recovered by Brian Williams. Favre's 4 touchdown passes gives him a seat on the bench. And Travis Jervey from the mighty Citadel, the Citadel.
Ta-da! The Citadel, the only school in the world, the Citadel.
Paul, did you go there?
Yes, I did.
I mean,
but
no,
did
what
you
I mean,
attend there?
Did you go to classes? That's what I'm saying. I know you were there.
I did 4 years there.
Did you? 4 years of what?
Hey, Jervey, wasn't he in the NFL's fastest man contest?
He came in 4th in the NFL fastest man. He's from the Isle of Palm, South Carolina.
He was a wishbone fullback in college. He
caught one pass.
Told us that he only one pass. He didn't even know how to go in motion. Jervey again, and his jersey is on the ground. Mike Lodish makes the tackle. He's a interesting young guy. Talking to him last year, and he said inspired by Paul McGuire's history at the Citadel, he got a lot of tours. Is that what they call those, the tours?
Yeah.
Tours. What's the tour, Paul?
That's when you walk 60 minutes with a rifle. I hold a record. I just wanted to show you this. You know, they called movement on Habib on that last play there. If you take a look at the right guy, Timmerman, he was in motion, and they didn't call that play against the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, and by the way, the injured official, they had made a change, and then we just went by the scorecard here, but Al Conway, to get the right man, was the man injured. Fumble by Jervey, and Rondell Jones can't cover for Denver, and of course, Green Bay has another touchdown. It was right there for Jones, the defensive back of the Broncos. He couldn't cover. Don Beebe did.
Let me tell you something about this play with Jervey. This was a play they had at the Citadel, where he would fumble on about the 7-yard line into the end zone, and the wide receiver would recover for a touchdown.
That's another part of your legacy.
Look at this. Jervey is trying to make something happen, and man, he gets hit by his own man, the rear end of one of his own men, knocks the ball out. That's not holding on to the football. And then Jones dove on the ball.
Oh.
Freeman has a shot at it, but Beebe is the guy that ends up with it.
Jackie drives through the extra point, and the Broncos now see Green Bay in front 41-6.
Oh, Antonio Freeman could have had his 4th touchdown, but he lets the ball get away from him. Jones misses, Freeman misses, Beebe gets.
And can't quite get to the 20-yard line. Well, the Denver defense just worn down, and that means missed tackles ultimately. You tire, you just aren't quite as sharp.
Hands going for him. Great feet, can really run around, and, you know, he can make things happen in the offense, a lot like John Elway.
So Bill Musgrave's debut as an NFL starter, disappointing. Hand off to, fake to Hebron. Lewis keeps it himself and dives out to the 25-yard line. Will be 3rd down and 4.
This is really a nice time to come into a ball game, too. You know, it's below 0 wind chill factor. You're losing 41-6. Hey, win this one for the Gipper.
He's happy. He's glad to be in there, Paul. He doesn't care.
What is good about this game for Denver? We know for Green Bay, this will clinch the NFC Central, keeps them that one step ahead of San Francisco for home field advantage. How about Denver?
Denver, I tell you, it gets them back. It'll make them go back to some basics. it'll make them a little scared. I think it'll make them a better football team. It just shows you how close it is between playing real well in this league and getting blown out.
Lewis to Hebron, and Hebron has a first down at the 30-yard line, and Jeff Lewis can remember that his first NFL completion was in Green Bay. Picked up a first down.
And you know, Dick, and Paul and I, we've talked about this during the commercial breaks. We said it earlier. I'm just not that, I'm not fazed by the score that much today. I still believe Denver is an excellent football team, and when the playoffs come, they are going to be really tough to beat. And I would not be surprised to see these two teams in the Super Bowl.
Well, it looks as if they both could have. Well, Denver's got the home field advantage in the playoffs, and Green Bay working on it. Hebron.
And you want to bring up the conversation, AFC, NFC. Well, let's don't forget now, not even the best team in the AFC a couple weeks ago manhandled this Green Bay team in Kansas City. So, I mean, it's, you know how the league goes, and week to week it's so different.
AFC's best against the NFC. Buffalo and Kansas City unbeaten. Denver was until today.
Well, you know, Dick, when you look at it, Fritz Shermer, you talk about how great a coach he is, and he's been around for a zillion years. But when you think about what he did, he looked at what Denver was going to do, had no idea what they're going to do offensively when they came out. Then you look at Musgrave, he didn't throw a pass over 8 yards. He knows, Dick, that this team is going to basically try to run the ball, throw the short stuff. So what he did, he just adjusted his defense and said, hey, if that's what you're going to do, then you have to beat my best defense.
That's right. And, Paul, here's Fritz Sherman, been in the league 22 years. He has done it all, been successful as a coordinator in a lot of different defenses, and you never hear his name brought up for a head coaching job. Never.
Oh, and time has passed by.
Well,
no, it isn't. Well, wait. No, the image today is in the 40s, good looking, and coming out of some fancy offensive scheme. Huh?
Yeah, I know. Don't let the facts get in the way of it. I mean, Fritz just does a good job, and it's just not good enough.
I think your point is well taken.
All right.
KFC presents
20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
Bringing It Home. In Super Bowl 20, the Chicago Bears were too tough, too much, and ultimately too good for New England. En route to a then-record 46 points, the monsters of the Midway roared to their first and only Super Bowl title.
William Perry on a 1-yard touchdown run. The legend continues.
Dear Santa.
You have a lot of things on your list?
Perhaps you heard about these Colonel's Crispy Strips from KFC. Mom, where's the North Pole? Juicy, all-white meat chicken, freshly prepared.
How's Santa gonna bring all those things here?
They're good enough to be a meal. So stop at my house first. Everybody else is just serving cookies. Everybody needs a little KFC.
Now get 3 Colonel's Crispy Strips, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, and a biscuit, just $2.99.
There will always be questions. We'll answer the ones about cars.
People call you guys bunny spotters.
Bunny spotters. I think that it trivializes what we do. It's much larger than that.
To watch somebody see it for the first time.
Whoa. I feel very fortunate to be here because, when we're all gone, it's still going to be out there.
NBC tonight, Dick discovers stand-up comedy.
Look! A bald guy. Am I right?
Ah! It's an all-new Third Reich zany alien comedy adventure. And the pie's not bad either.
That's hysterical.
Then, is it true?
Maybe you shouldn't work here.
Boyd gets fired. Fired, not fire. All new Boston Common tonight.
Phil, this is your old buddy Ed McCaffrey, but look what Craig Newsome does to him, number 21, as he comes off the line of scrimmage. All right, here, first of all, hands to the face. But the important thing about this, watch this hit right here. This is illegal from the back, and that's the guy on defense. But look at this, folks. Standing right here is the field judge and does not throw a flag. Now, that's ridiculous.
Well, that's how skirmishes begin. You don't, and McCaffrey figuring it didn't do any good to retaliate because he would have gotten the penalty.
You're right. It's a good job by Ed McCaffrey not retaliating.
And a bad job by the official.
Jeff Lewis running out of room, now scrambles, fumbles. Ahead to Detron Smith. Actually, it looked like he was trying to throw him a little shovel pass, and they're calling it an incomplete pass now.
Well, he threw it forward, so it is incomplete. Or he rolled it forward.
Yeah, that's better. He rolled it.
Well, couldn't have been an incomplete pass because the clock is running, so they ruled that. Made the play dead. Now they stopped at 139. I guess it really doesn't matter. 41 to 6.
Yeah, that's right. Does it, Dick? It really does. Let's get out of here is what they're saying.
Jeff Lewis, they called him the Grand Cannon down there in northern Arizona, near the Grand Canyon. And that's going Heath Hebron down to the 49-yard line. And a reminder tonight on NBC, it starts with Dateline, followed by all new episodes, Third Rock and Boston Common. And it's the all-star comedy movie, Greedy, with Phil Hartman and Jerry Burns, Michael J. Fox, Olivia DeBow, Kirk Douglas as well. What they'll do for money, you won't believe. It's Greedy. Tops a great night of TV on NBC tonight. Now, congratulations to these Green Bay Packers. Again, the NFC Central champions, as Hebron on the pitch has a first down at the Green Bay 47 in the final minute of play.
You know, the one thing I like about the Green Bay Packers, they get home field advantage. You know, of course, the fans, the atmosphere is wonderful, but they got a quarterback that can really play well, throw the ball well in tough conditions. And I think that's so important because so many of these quarterbacks around the league cannot deal with the winds and the codes on most of the field, and especially up here in Lambeau.
And Mike Holmgren's team almost impossible to beat here in the cold weather months. Unbeaten at home this year, 7-0, and Holmgren says, I don't want to play in Dallas again.
Never. I don't even want to fly over Dallas.
I lost 7 in a row to Dallas, all 7 at Texas Stadium. Lewis underneath, incomplete. 11 seconds left. Hebron, the intended receiver. And our thanks to all the crew here in Green Bay. The sounds and pictures, the producer, Tommy Roy, today's director, John Gonzalez. Halftime produced by Ricky Diamond, directed by John Gilmartin, associate director Ed Fibishoff. David Gibson is our associate producer, production manager Tim DeKime, and of course the president of NBC Sports, Dick Ebersol. Look at this crowd. You can't find an empty seat. They stay to the final bell, cheering their Packers. Hebron, short yardage, final seconds. The Packers go 11-3 and very impressively dismiss the Denver Broncos 41-6. The two Mikes, Holmgren and Shanahan, will they meet again in New Orleans in late January? We'll be back with more scores and highlights and more action. The final 41-6 Green Bay.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Nice cat.
Ford Explorer. It's at home anywhere.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll send you back to Green Bay in just a moment. But first, to recap what has happened for you today, the game that you have seen, the Green Bay Packers knock off the Denver Broncos by a score of 41-6, and in so doing, capture the NFC Central Division Championship. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers have claimed the AFC Central with a 16-3 win over the San Diego Chargers. Mike Tomczak, a touchdown pass to Andre Hastings, and Norm Johnson field goals did the rest. 16-3 the final score. In Miami, the New York Giants beat the Miami Dolphins today 17-7. Rodney Hampton a 5-yard run for a touchdown. Dave Brown to Howard Cross a 1-yard pass. 17-7 Giants over the Miami Dolphins. In Houston, the Oilers fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-17 the final score. Eddie George 141 yards rushing last week, only 15 in the first half today. Natron Means had a big day. After an interception, Means helps his team convert. He finds the hole, barrels in from the 5 for his second touchdown of the day. And Jacksonville over at Houston 23. To 17. In Tampa Bay, the Bucs a winner over the Washington Redskins today. 24-10 is the final score as the Bucs improve to 5-9. The Redskins fall to 8-6. In Chicago, the Bears caught fire late and trampled the St. Louis Rams 35-9. In Cincinnati, the Ravens stalled at the 1-yard line in the final plays of the game, and the Bengals beat Baltimore 21-14. And a battle of 2-11 teams in the Superdome in New Orleans. Atlanta wins it, the score 31-15. We'll send you back to Green Bay, Wisconsin, right after this.
Passport.
Yes. Listen, Candace, we know what you're going through. Ever since Sprint launched that Diamond Minute rate, people just won't leave you alone.
And now we hear Sprint's really turning up the heat.
Now you can get 10 cents a minute 24 hours a day to the number you call the most.
So if you're watching, Candace, my advice to you is to go long and never come back.
I would ask to be traded to another city.
I got it. Assume a whole new identity.
Hey, now there's an idea.
Call now and get a limited edition NFL phone card when you sign up for 10 cents a minute.
Company wishes you and yours a very happy holiday season.
So Denver returns home against Oakland a week from today. They have not lost at home all year.
Well, they have.
Bay with 2 remaining as well.
And you see Green Bay, Reggie White out in the field celebrating, and I think Reggie talking to him yesterday, he realizes the chemistry of this team and the atmosphere here, this is his great chance to get to the Super Bowl.
And it all boils down to Brett Favre. He was magnificent.
And John Elway, without him, Denver's a different team, obviously.
Well, he showed that a quarterback can hurt the defense, and that's what happened to Denver today.
All right, thank you for being with us. The NFC Central Division champions are the Packers. They beat the Broncos 41-6. Coming up next, don't miss the exciting conclusion, the Office Depot Father-Son Challenge. Johnny Miller joins golf legends Nicholas, Trevino, Floyd, and others. They team up with their sons. Final day of action. For Paul McGuire, Bill Sims, and Jim Gray, I'm Dick Enberg. So long from Green Bay, Wisconsin.